In Clearwater, the legend of Goonbert isn't just a warning, it's a curse. The kind of story that sits in your gut like bad meat and keeps you glancing over your shoulder for the rest of your life. Even the most depraved criminals in lockup wouldn't speak his name. The very thought of him made their skin crawl. Goonbert wasn't just a pervert, he was the pervert. A predator so vile and unrelenting, he made society's worst look like Boy Scouts. No one knows where Goonbert came from, but his existence defied human decency. He lived in a rotting trailer at the edge of Clearwater, surrounded by a graveyard of broken TVs, burnt-out cars and evidence. VHS tapes, stacks of greasy magazines, and mannequins. Oh, mannequins. Disfigured and dressed in horrifying ways, posed in grotesque tableaus only Goonbert could comprehend. By day, his property seemed abandoned, but by night, the trailer became alive with depravity. The windows glowed with flickering static from old screens playing the same twisted loops, and the air was filled with the faint, nauseating sounds of his grotesque rituals. But the thing no one could forget was the clapping sound. Sharp, rhythmic, and unnatural, echoing through the woods like a warped metronome. It wasn't the sound of hands clapping. It was something else, something wet and obscene, slapping together in an unholy cadence. The sound was so distinct that even miles away, people would shiver in their beds and whisper, "It's Goonbert." Teenagers who dared to peek through his windows didn't come back with silly ghost stories. They came back traumatized. One kid, Darren Hodge, claimed he saw Goonbert standing in his underwear, skin glistening with some oily sheen, staring directly at him through the glass. Before Darren even peeked. "He knew I was there," Darren said, eyes hollow. "He was waiting for me." And then there was the inside of the trailer itself. Walls, ceilings, every inch plastered with artwork. Not the kind you'd find in a gallery, but pictures, clippings, and drawings of the most obscene, vile, and degrading nature imaginable. Some said there was so much of it that it was impossible to see the original walls. It was a shrine to his depravity, and it seemed alive, like it watched you as much as he did. And then there was what Goonbert did to people who got too close. Missing posters littered Clearwater for years, but nobody connected the dots until the footage was found. Grainy, night vision tapes of people wandering into the woods, lured by strange noises, only to be snatched by filthy hands, dragging them screaming into the darkness. Some said he didn't kill his victims, but kept them, broken, alive, and forced to endure whatever horrors his sick mind could conjure. Eventually the law caught up to him, or so they thought. His trailer burned to the ground one night, the fire so hot it melted the nearest trees. But when the ash cooled, there were no remains, no body, just piles of warped VHS tapes that no one dared to watch. Goonbert was gone, or maybe, as the locals whispered, he had evolved. Now, Goonbert isn't bound to the woods, or even his filthy trailer. He's everywhere. Mirrors, screens, shadows, anywhere he can catch you unaware. People report strange, glitchy static on their phones late at night, or webcams turning on by themselves. A sweaty handprint smeared across the glass. Some even claim to hear his breathy, wheezing chuckle while scrolling through certain questionable websites. And then there's the Goonbert summoning ritual. If you're foolish enough, stand naked in front of a mirror at 3 a.m. He likes vulnerability. And chant, "Goonbert, let's goon," 3 times. First, you'll notice the air turn rank, like sour milk and rancid sweat. Then, the mirror will start to fog, not from your breath, but his. His wet, bulging eyes will appear first, staring at you from the glass, and then his hands, greasy, trembling, pawing at the surface like he's clawing his way into your world. His voice is the worst part though, raspy, desperate, dripping with need. Closer, he'll moan. Just a touch. I'll make you special. If you freeze, he'll laugh. If you scream, he'll grin wider. But if you run, that's when he comes for you. And if you're really unlucky, you'll hear that sound. The unmistakable, wet, rhythmic clap, clap, clap. As though he's celebrating the chase. People who've tried the ritual and survived say the key is to blow out the candle and stay perfectly still, no matter how close you feel his sticky hands brushing your skin. But even if you survive, you're marked. Goonbert knows you now. You'll catch glimpses of him in your peripheral vision, in reflections, in dark windows, in the glow of your phone at night. He'll never stop watching, waiting for you to slip up. Because once Goonbert gets a taste of you, he's never satisfied.
Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for